We're obviously in an evolving picture at the moment, and I think that will be essential for SafetyOn to continue the dialogue with the government, to feed back what's working well and what's also not working, so we can take that on board.
SafetyOn have provided good leadership for the industry, and I think it's key that that momentum is maintained or improved, to provide that further leadership within the industry to ensure important project decisions, health and safety is its core and centre of that decision-making process and not an add-on.
So when we look ahead to 2021, we're certainly not going to be out of the woods yet when it comes to COVID-19, and we can't relax or afford any complacency when it comes to infection control and mitigation of any transmission of COVID-19. So that for me is going to be the priority, to support the industry through SafetyOn and its guidance, even during those initial months that could stretch out longer. We just don't know yet. So having that front of mind for 2021, but also, as we did in 2020, continuing to plug away at those areas that we know need to be looked at.
Okay, so basically this part we're kind of looking at, what does 2021 hold? What kind of things are we going to look at? So the big thing for 2021 as well, one of the things that's maybe not on the slides, are our first annual incident data report is going to be released hopefully by Q1, that highlights a lot of the numbers that Michelle was talking about earlier on. While we were still compiling this data, we obviously couldn't stop and wait to see what the data tells us to inform us on our next kind of direction. So we had to kind of use the group itself, talk amongst ourselves, find out the kind of concerns and the issues that were affecting us as businesses, and maybe look at working on them collaboratively to kind of improve safety on site. So, Beata, can you start with the thing? So one of the first ones we're going to look at for 2021 is traffic management at site. So this is separate from deliveries to site. It's not that kind of side of it. It's more looking at vehicle movement around sites and kind of addressing some of the things like the image you see on the screen there. That's one of our vehicles that was unfortunately to have a wee collision a few weeks ago. So it was born, as I said, it was born from member companies reporting incidents that involved collisions and other incidents, vehicles leaving the road, and these kind of things while they were on site. Falls from vehicles, offloading equipment, kind of people kind of stepping back, kind of injuring themselves, that kind of side of it as well. Unstable loads arriving at sites, requiring kind of emergency kind of operations to get them stable again and offloaded. And overall vehicle movements on site. It was agreed that a work programme was needed to basically look at traffic management for onshore wind farm sites. Again, specifically around O&M. A lot, as we know, when a site's getting built in the UK, there's legislation in there that kind of forces the developer to develop a traffic management plan that advises on how the traffic risk will be managed on site. So what we're looking to do is develop traffic management guidance that will assist the industry, and will include obviously input from third parties. We want to also get out there and speak to the delivery companies, everything, and get their input. What's their concerns? What kind of causes these issues? Case studies from member organisations, kind of the things that have gone wrong on sites. Let's take a look at them. So we're gathering that data now from the members, both Tier 1 and Tier 2. The design of traffic routes on site as well, we're going to kind of look at that. What's good practice, the kind of easy ones that we all know about as we try and avoid kind of reversing on a site, we try and avoid kind of blind corners, these kind of things as well. And the planning and implementation of traffic management systems, speed limits, kind of road condition monitoring, all these kind of things as well. I mean, to put it into perspective, I was recently made aware of an issue that happened on one of the sites that's a member's involved in, when it was a Morrison's delivery vehicle accidentally took a wrong turn and ended up driving around the wind farm for a while. completely lost and needed assistance to get back down. So, you know, it's this kind of issue that we're trying to deal with at the moment, and hopefully kind of we'll get kind of some guidance out in next year that will assist companies. Thanks, Beata. Can we progress? So the next one is Workstreams turbine decommissioning. So yeah, again, there's been a number of events that have happened within the industry that requires wind turbines to be made safe and decommissioned. Obviously, the most apparent one is the image you can see on your left there is when you get an uncontrolled event, something that's unplanned, and it leaves you with something that's potentially unsafe. Very public, very evident, you know, draws attention, draws people to the area to see it, all these kind of things as well. This has happened to a couple of organisations, a couple of members within the team, and we're just basically trying to get in front of the problem, you know, try and get learnings from these companies to the table, share them, hopefully get some planning together. So the way we're looking at it is Workstreams in two phases, what we call emergency decommissioning, which again is the image of the burning turbine there, when you've got that moment where we need to get this done as fast as we can. And again, the work stream for this one, it involves turbine suppliers, operators and Tier 2 members who have direct experience in managing emergency decommissioning and trying to get that kind of, you know, what's good, what does good look like, what didn't work so well, you know, so the next time it happens, we've got a bit more of a considered approach. The second one is obviously more along the lines of the image on the right-hand side, planned decommissioning. You know, we do, in the UK, we do have aging fleet now. We have got, you know, we're looking at repowering, we're looking at different options, and we are considering, you know, we need to start considering how we're going to bring the turbines down safely, efficiently, and obviously taking into account environmentally friendly methods as well. Again, similar idea, a lot of the players within the group contributing to develop guidance, covering all aspects of decommissioning on the site. And as I said, kind of shows at the bottom there, the timelines we're looking at emergency decommissioning guidance by the first quarter of 2021, and then more into the planned decommissioning by quarter Q3 2021. So hopefully we'll get that out next year. The next one is, as I mentioned at the beginning, we looked at the fires, or the fires in the wind turbines, and we also identified that there was a greater risk, really. One of the things the report kind of highlighted was, while fires did occur over, I think it was 48 fires occurred in a 5-year period, the number of technicians that were actually at risk was extremely low. However, when it comes to kind of arc incidents and kind of exposure to electrical conductor type incidents, there's a higher risk there. There's a greater risk towards our technicians on that one. So what we're looking at is to kind of address this kind of thing. So we did have a workshop with the HSE to clarify position on switchgears and transformers, and we are proposing that we kind of go further into this topic. Maybe nothing's guaranteed yet, but we are looking along the lines of safe by design workshops, different technology, you know, design phase kind of work, all that kind of thing. What does the next generation of switchgear look like for wind turbines? Outcomes for it is obviously, you know, we're going to propose a work stream where we're looking at hierarchy, where we're looking at position of the HV equipment within the turbines, controlling access to it, how do we control access to it, and obviously we need to touch on the training side of it, which might have a tie-in with the wind turbine safety rules, that kind of thing. We need to look at the competence of personnel who have access to HV equipment. And then obviously the other things is non-electrical work that's just taking place close to it. So that's the kind of rough areas that we're going to look at within that work stream. Okay. Okay, one of the ones I'm quite kind of keen on seeing as well is there's a confined space work stream that we're looking at. So several members, and it was good to see one non-member at the time who is planning to become a member next year, approached us raising concerns around some near misses on confined space turbine work. So particularly, so I think that the root cause behind this, or not the root cause, but the issue behind this is the whole industry uses the term restricted work area, which is absolutely fine. However, that's maybe led to, in some instances, a belief that there is no such, you can't get a confined space in a wind turbine, and that's not the case. There is specific risks you can bring into that kind of environment that would turn a turbine into a confined space. And what we're looking to do is just get an understanding of that, look at, this lack of awareness specifically by project teams. It's not really so much the safety teams. Safety teams tend to know this, but when you're looking at the technicians, when you speak to the project managers, we are getting things coming back saying it's all restricted work area, it's not confined space. And we disagreed with that. So again, as it says there, I've mentioned it earlier on, there was an identified uncertainty on the differences between restricted work area and confined space. And then the other one is concerns of the suitability of confined space entry training for the wind industry. There isn't a specific wind industry training program for that. It's more the standard confined space entry for mines or entering silos or anything like that. And we feel that it doesn't really fit our industry that well, and potentially we need to look and maybe work with the training providers on that one. So it was agreed that you put a work program together to examine the issues and hopefully develop some guidance, but that's due to kick off beginning of next year. I believe that's the, the last kind of, one of the last ones to look at as well is the working under suspended load. So this is the next phase of the 2020 work stream that we did. We got that research report out, or the Safe by Design workshop report. That workshop was mainly around the tower-to-tower aspect of working under suspended loads, as you see the bottom image there. What we're looking at now is what does the next phase look like? I personally view this as one of the kind of big successes that we did in 2020. It's an example of what SafetyOn kind of achieved. We managed to get the turbine suppliers and lifting operators into a room, got them to have kind of relevant discussions. It's worth noting that Siemens Gamesa very much led this and came to the table with some very good solutions that were kind of used by others to kind of help things progress. And now I think we are in a better place when it comes to carrying out complex lifting operations and protecting our workforce. So, kind of as it states, further work, we do need to look at other aspects of lifting operations. Going around the table at our meetings, questions are asked around clearer guidance. The workshop report is a good document, but it is very complicated. Can that be simplified down into a kind of user guide or a considerations guide? Again, looking at available technology and innovation. I sat very recently on an event with another company, a Tier 2 member, who brought a solution to the table that was used where, because of COVID, they couldn't get a lift done effectively, and because of other specialists being in other parts of the world away from the lifting location, and they actually used cameras, helmet-mounted cameras, to allow multiple parties tuning into a lift in real time. Fantastic use of innovation to get through both reducing the amount of people at the workplace and the COVID side of it. It was really, really good to see. And the third point is planning of lifts. We're getting, what does a good lift plan look like? That's the big question there. There's lots of different lifting plans out there, different kind of versions of them. We just want to know what's a good one, and hopefully get some kind of consistency across all of our members. Okay. When you go, Beata, thank you. This is the kind of last one I was kind of wanting to talk about was the, so this is an opportunity that we've got to collaborate with G+. So obviously, for the people that don't know, G+ is a kind of sister organisation where they deal with the offshore side of it. They've been on the go now for over 10 years, I think, something along that lines. We've got, so G+ mainly focus on the offshore side of it. However, their own data and stats kind of identified increased incidents on their onshore side. So obviously, building the offshore wind farm, you've still got to make landfall somewhere, connect to a substation, and there's more. There was an increase of incidents in that area, and this was picked up in their annual report. A lot of them were UK specific, and what we viewed as this is a good opportunity to collaborate between both the groups. Maybe fair to say that SafetyOn's maybe get more of the expertise in that area to advise kind of through tier 2, through a lot of our balance of plant civils contractors and these kind of organisations. What the issues are and how do we deal with them. Okay, and again, it's still early days. This will mainly be picked up at the beginning of next year, and we're still to kind of agree what the output of the work stream kind of looks like.